If you're a solo agent, you are probably paying for at least a dozen AI tools and have not mastered a single one. Here is what no coach is going to tell you. Most of them are a complete scam. Last month, I deleted almost all of mine, including ChatGPT, after 3 years of using it, and rebuilt my whole business on just 2. I'm going to show you which ones, and I'm going to hand you the migration prompts for free. Let's go. And one quick word on where I'm standing. I am not anti-AI. I use it every hour of my day. I build AI infrastructures for real estate agents. I know these tools under the hood, which is exactly why I hit a wall of clutter and I started firing my own subscriptions. This is not theory. This is the audit that I ran on my own business. And look, I know the thing that is really keeping you stuck. It's that 3 years of history just sitting in the sidebar. You feel like you can't leave. I'm going to show you how I moved all of mine in about 10 minutes without losing a single line. And I'm going to give you those exact prompts for free. But first, you need to see why you're drowning in the first place. It starts with one word: wrappers. This is the root of almost everything else. If you open your social feed right now, somebody is trying to sell you a top 10 or top 20 AI tools that every real estate agent needs this year. And every time you scroll past one you haven't bought yet, you feel like this little pull of guilt, like you're falling behind, like everyone else has some secret stack that you don't. I want to take the guilt off of your shoulders because most of what you're being sold is not technology. It's markup. The way these things actually work is simpler than the marketing makes it look. There are a handful of foundational AI engines in the world. The big ones you're already going to know: Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT among them. Building one of those from scratch costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Almost nobody does it. So instead, a company takes one of those foundational engines, connects it through what's called an API. Think of it like renting the horsepower, puts a nice teal real estate skin on top, hard codes one single prompt into a button, and sells it back to you for $29, $49, $99 a month. That's the entire project. It's a rented engine wearing a costume. The industry word for this is wrapper. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That slick app that writes your listing descriptions, underneath the button, it's firing a prompt at the same engine that you can talk to directly. You're not paying for smarter technology. You are paying a premium for your own lack of prompting knowledge. And that's a tax that you can stop paying for today. But the money isn't even the worst part. The real damage is more subtle. Every single-use tool that you buy isolates a piece of your business. Your listing copywriter lives in one tab, your caption generator in another, your market research in a third, and your email drafter in a fourth. And not one of them knows that the other exists. That listing tool has no idea what your listing market is doing, where your pipeline stands, how you actually talk to your clients, or which 3 deals you're trying to close this week. It's a stranger that you have to reintroduce yourself to every time you open it. So you spend your day copying context from one tool to the next, re-explaining your own business to a dozen apps that forget you the moment that you close the tab. That is not efficiency. That's administrative homework that you assign to yourself. The shift here is simple. Stop thinking of yourself as a consumer of software and start thinking of yourself as the architect of your own context. A foundational engine that deeply knows your market, your voice, and your pipeline will outperform a generic real estate wrapper every single time. Not because it's a fancier model, but because it actually knows you. So before you ever click purchase on another real estate AI subscription, run one simple filter. I call it the wrapper test. You ask yourself one question: could I customize a well-written prompt inside an engine that already knows my business, do the exact same thing for free? If the answer is yes, and it almost always is, you don't buy the software. You write the prompt once and you own it forever. Fragmenting your tech stack is like fragmenting your business data. Now on to hardware. This is where the fear of falling behind gets really expensive really fast. Right now, there is a wave of dedicated AI recording gadgets, these little pucks and pendants that you clip on or set on the table to record your client consultations. The Plaud device, spelled with a P, is the one that everyone's been talking about. And agents are rushing to buy them because the demo looks like magic. You talk, and out comes a clean summary with action items. I understand the pull completely, but there is a delusion baked into it. Real estate agents believe the hardware is what creates that beautiful summary. That is not true. This little device is doing exactly one job: turning your voice into text. The intelligence, the summarizing, the action items, all of that happens back at the foundational engine the device is sending your audio to behind the scenes. You are buying a $300 microphone to reach a service you can already reach for free. And you're already carrying the best capture device ever made. It's in your pocket right now. Your phone's built-in Voice Memo app records perfect audio, syncs automatically, and never needs a separate charger or another login to babysit. You don't have a capture problem. You never did. Now watch why the simple version isn't just cheaper, it's genuinely better. When you record on a dedicated device, that device transcribes your words and then hands them off cold to an engine that has no idea who you are. It's starting from zero every time. But when you record your own phone and drop that raw audio or transcript straight into your own ongoing Claude or Gemini thread, you are feeding it to an engine that already knows your market, your tone, your brand, your standards, and your active client list, because you've built that context over weeks and months. Same words in, radically different result out. That puck, it gives you this tidy little transcript. Your contextualized thread gives you a listing strategy written the way you would write it. The device was never the magic. The context was. Here is a raw brain dump of my thoughts for an upcoming listing appointment based on our past threads about my market and my brand standards. Organize this into a clean prep checklist and a client communication strategy. That's it. No device to charge, no new app to learn, and a result that's actually written in your voice. The value isn't the device capturing the data. It's in the context of the engine processing it. Zoom out from any single tool and look at the shape of your whole stack. This is where most agents leak the most time without ever noticing. The pattern goes like this. You needed to send a quick screen recording once. So you got Loom. A transcript came up, so you bolted on the transcription tool. Scheduling meant one more subscription. Each one felt small and reasonable in the moment, but stacked together, you've built a spider web of separate logins, separate bills, and separate little islands of data that don't talk to each other. And almost nobody stops to check the obvious thing. Most of these functions already exist inside the major platform you're already paying for. You've got Google Workspace or Microsoft 365. You are paying for capabilities you're actively outsourcing to third-party extensions on top of them. You're paying twice. I'll give you a real one from my own business. I canceled my Loom subscription, not because Loom is bad, it's fine product, but because I realized I was maintaining the entire separate island for something my core ecosystem already does. Now when I need to record a screen walkthrough or talk through a client review, I start a private Google Meet with just myself. I share my screen and I hit record. Gemini handles the entire transcript, the key takeaways, and the next actions automatically. And the best part isn't even the recording. It's where the data lands. Because that recording is a transcript, those action items, they don't get stranded on some outside app that I have to remember to log into. They land right inside my Google Drive, sitting next to my calendar, my email, my business planning docs, everything. My whole operation lives in one place, which means the AI inside that ecosystem can cross-reference my actual daily behavior instead of guessing. Nothing gets trapped on an island. So your move is simple. Pull up your software subscriptions today. Hunt for overlaps. If you're already paying for Google Workspace or Microsoft 365, stop outsourcing your notes and screen recordings to third-party add-ons. Use the meeting tool that's already inside your ecosystem to record your screen and your client reviews. Let the native AI take the notes and keep your business data inside the environment you open first thing every single morning. Every software island you delete is a victory for your focus and your wallet. Now we get to the one I know is going to sting a little because it stung me. I fired ChatGPT. After years of it being the very first tab that I opened every morning, I walked away from it. I'll be honest about why I stayed as long as I did. The reason I stayed is the exact reason you're still there too. It wasn't out of loyalty. It was the history. I had 3 years of chat history in that sidebar. Saved prompts, old listing descriptions, client scripts, the whole record of how I built my thinking. The thought of walking away from all of it felt like setting a filing cabinet on fire. So I tolerated things that I should not have tolerated. That's the legacy trap. And it keeps thousands of agents chained to tools they have long outgrown. What I was tolerating was the output itself. Somewhere along the way, ChatGPT's writing got rigid and formulaic. There were these predictable metaphors, a corporate cadence, that flat, this was written by AI texture that a good client can smell from across the room. In our business, your words are your brand. And when your listing copy and your client emails sound like everyone else's chatbot, you're not saving time. You are diluting the one thing that makes people choose you. I was sacrificing the quality of my voice for convenience of not having to move. And one day I decided that trade was not worth it anymore. So where did I go? I split my business across 2 foundational engines, and I gave each one clear job. Google Gemini became my speed and data engine. Live web information, current market and local economic data, deep integration with the Google ecosystem that my whole business already runs on. Fast document drafting. I also use Gemini Notebook, which used to be called Notebook LM, and it's to synthesize and organize complex research, which works in lockstep with the core Gemini app. And I keep that knowledge instantly actionable. Then there is Claude. Claude became my voice and strategy engine. The nuanced, human-sounding writing, the high-level brand messaging, the complex client problem solving, and the conversational scripts that actually sound like a human being wrote them. Between those two, I cover 100% of my business needs with 0 single-use clutter. In the history that I was so scared to lose, I didn't lose it. I moved it cleanly. And I'm going to show you exactly how so you will never feel chained to a tool again. Don't let your past data trap you into using a tool that dilutes your voice. So let's put it all together and build the thing. Starting by flipping a belief that's been sold to you your entire career. You've been trained to believe that leveling up your business means adding something. A new tool, subscription, tab to something. When production slows down, your first instinct is to go shopping. But the most technically mature agents that I know define their maturity by opposite measure. Not by how much software they own, but by how much they can confidently cancel. A minimalist stack isn't restrictive. It's the opposite. When you only have two tabs open, you have absolute clarity about where every task goes and what you're supposed to be doing. Fewer decisions, less fatigue, more execution. That's not a downgrade. That is freedom. Run this audit this weekend. Print out your last 3 credit card or bank statements. Actually print them on paper where you can't scroll past them. Take a highlighter and mark every single software fee, every one. And then for each highlighted line, you ask it one brutal question. What specific job does this do that my other foundational engines can't already do better? If it can't survive that question, you cancel it. Not next month, right then. And then the dust settles. Here are the only 2 roles that you keep, and notice they don't overlap. They complete each other. For me, it's Gemini as my organizational workhorse. Real market research, local economic data, calendar, and Google integration. The fast, factual, get-it-done engine. And then for me, Claude is my creative partner and strategic architect. That's my brand messaging, database email sequences, complex client problem solving, and conversational dialogues that have to sound genuinely human. One for speed and facts, the other one for voice and strategy. Properly loaded with your context, these 2 completely replace every specialized AI copywriter, planner, note-taker, and assistant that you've been stringing together. The agent who owns a minimalist, deeply contextualized system wins. The agent who collects tools just collects bills. Your job was never to collect software. It's to start conversations and close deals. So this week, wipe the slate clean, run the subtraction audit, cancel everything that isn't one of your 2 primary engines, and give those 2 your full context. That's the whole game. And I built the playbook for you. It's free inside our school community, RealCoach Academy. In the AI course bucket, you get the exact ChatGPT migration prompts, my Plaud killer voice memo workflow, and the Loom killer Google Meet setup, and the tech subtraction audit sheet. All copy and paste ready. The link's in the description. Stop buying tools you don't need and start building a business you actually own. I'll see you inside the academy.